Hello, boys and girls. We are going to do our second place on our field trip, and that is going to Yellowstone. And we are going to code a geyser to erupt. So I've already got my background and my one sprite. This is the sprite that will introduce the project. But we want to get a geyser to erupt. Now, once again, there isn't a geyser that erupts in here, so we're going to have to do it ourselves. So instead of getting one off the internet or finding one, we are going to make our own. So you click on your sprite button and you go to paint. So once you're at paint, then you are going to draw your geyser. Now, if you're like me, you might need a little bit of help. So the way I drew my geyser was the first thing I did is I looked through the sprite library and I saw that they had this thing called a glass. So I just got the glass, so it would kind of give me the basic shape. Now it's upside down, so what I did is I just highlighted it and I rotated it around like this. Okay, so now this is kind of giving me the basic shape of what my geyser would look like. So now I'm going to highlight all of this and I'm just going to start changing the colors a little bit. So I'm going to come over here, instead of calling this a glass of water, I'm going to change it to be called geyser. So now I'm going to come and I'm going to click on my paintbrush and I'm going to choose kind of like a brownish color. So you have to play around with your colors here a little bit till you get a color that you think matches what you want it to look like. So there we go, that's kind of a good color. So now I'm just taking this color and I'm just going to kind of draw a line out like this. So to kind of help me keep that basic shape, draw out like this, draw out like this, and then so now I've kind of got that shape and I click here and now it kind of looks like I've got kind of a geyser looking shape. Now I want this to kind of, so I'm going to change that to brown and I'm going to keep that as gray. And now anytime that you are in the sprite editor, you can highlight it. You want to make sure you're kind of in the center of your page there. And then you can move it around wherever you need it to over here. So don't move it around over here to get it to show in the right place over there on this project. So now I have the beginnings of a geyser. So in order to do an animation, that means I'm going to have a little bit of movement on each one. So now I'm just going to do a right click duplicate. So now you see I have the same thing right here. So I'm going to, now on this time, I'm just going to change this and I'm going to get the same color as that gray. And so now I'm just going to start doing like a little bit of steam. Now you notice I'm starting out small, I'm not drawing the whole geyser. So I draw just a little bit, right click duplicate, and then I'm going to draw a little bit more. Okay, and now this is kind of looking supposed to be like the steam. And so now I'm going to start adding a different color to make it start looking like the water is starting to come up. So I'm going to add here, I'm going to try to get a little bit of a light blue in there. So you play around with your colors till you get the color that you want, and you just and I'm going to go like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back to my paintbrush and I'm going to start adding a little bit of water. Now, if you notice, I'm not the best artist, but I'm just emulating like water starting to come out. And then I'm going to keep doing that and then add a little bit more the next time to make it go taller. And you can make your water, if you want to actually draw water droplets. I'm just doing like a spray of water. And every time after I draw just a little bit, I right click, duplicate that costume. And now I am ready. And then I'm going to keep doing that. Okay, and you can make it as much as you want. You should have, like, to really show animation, you're probably going to want to have 7, 8, 9 sprites, even 10 costumes. The more costumes you have, the more realistic that your animation will look. So you want to do several, so that way you have so that way you have lots of them. Okay, so now here I am again. Okay, I'm going to make it go up. Now if you notice, I'm going to start making it look like it's coming back down. So this is just kind of how you are going to start drawing this. And you can draw it as many as you want. And then you can, as you are doing that, then you're going to see that it's going to start looking like it is erupting. So it makes it look kind of really cool. And you're doing this, it's kind of like a stop motion animation because you're only seeing one frame at a time. So now if I clicked back here at the beginning, it goes from this to 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 this. Okay, and so that's how you would draw your geyser and do that stop motion animation.